What's happening, people? I hope you're all well. So I want to discuss the psychology behind why Dris from Top Boy betrayed Summerhouse and betrayed Sully and Dushane. So Dris was a soldier, or he was actually quite high up in the Summerhouse drugs gang, and he had actually proven his loyalty many times and had done many things with Sully and Dushane. In the first series, he actually got rid of, what's his name? He got rid of the guy who was originally in charge of the London Fields gang. The name escapes me at the moment. Kamali. He actually unalived Kamali in the first series of Top Boy, and he was seen as very loyal, very respected, and high up in the Summerhouse gang. But in the second series, that was produced by Drake, Dris eventually went on to betray. He betrayed Summerhouse and was working with London Fields gang. So let's look at why this was, because I think there's some pretty typical reasons that can relate to people in day-to-day life. Not to say that people in day-to-day life are drug dealers, they're not, but in terms of the psychology and the context. So when Dushane was in Jamaica for a large amount of time, we don't know exactly how long, and when Sully was in prison, it was Dris who was running the Summerhouse gang. And Dris, he was visibly stressed when Dushane came back from Jamaica, and you know, he'd had a stroke, he put on weight, and his hairline was receding, and he was explaining how it's hard to make a living, and that, you know, he'd been running the Summerhouse gang. But as soon as he came back, he was immediately demoted. You know, when Sully came out of prison and when Dushane came back, he was immediately demoted back to his usual spot as number 3 in the Summerhouse gang. But also, on top of that, he had developed drug issues as well. He started using balloons, he started using different types of drugs, and he actually had a stroke at a relatively young age. And so the drug use continued, and because of that, Dushane actually demoted Dris even lower down the pecking order, even below Jack. He was now running the corners. And so he was demoted essentially to street level. And this caused friction. You could tell he was visibly upset by that. Now, Dushane saw it as suppliers. He's on drugs, he has health problems, he's made some recent mistakes, such as snatching London Fields gang their supplier, you know, it's London Fields gang supplier. He kidnapped her. And Dushane saw these as mistakes and started to see Dris as a liability. And so Dris was also getting spoken down to. He was getting spoken down to by Sully, he was being spoken down to by Dushane, and he was also being left out of information. When Sully went to do something important and Dris was there, he said to Jack, come, and then Dris was like, what happened? Sully was like, long story, and just carried on going. So Dris started to feel like he was being underused, underappreciated, underrated. And this led to his betrayal, because he was approached by Jermaine and asked to give information from the Summerhouse gang to the London Fields gang, which led to the unalive attempt that London Fields gang did on Summerhouse kingpins, because they knew where the Summerhouse gang were hiding out because of information given by Dris. Summerhouse worked it out. Sully and Dushane tested it one more time. Sully and Dushane were like, look, this is where we are, come and meet us to Dris. Dris called London Fields gang so that London Fields gang could go and unalive them. But Sully and Dushane had already worked it out. They hid somewhere and watched, and they realized Dris is the traitor. And so Sully went to Dris and unalived him. So what can be learnt from this? Why did Dris do this? One, underappreciated. He felt underappreciated. He was underrated. He felt underrated. He felt that he had run the he run Summerhouse gang when no one else was there in hard times, and this wasn't being accounted for. And he also wanted, importantly, to provide for his daughter, because he was trying to provide for his daughter. He felt he was not receiving compensation. He was trying to raise his daughter by himself. And he felt that he could give his daughter a better life if he betrayed Summerhouse Gang in exchange for money. And with Sully and Dris unalived, he could then assume the top position, you know, top boy of Summerhouse Gang. That's ultimately the reasons why he did it. And so it shows you that in life, you know, relating this to everyday life context, if you have somebody who works under you, or you have somebody who works hard for you, sometimes you have to make them feel appreciated. Sometimes you have to make them, you know, acknowledge the work that they do, and also to include them, or certainly not, you know, disclude them, because anger simmers and it bubbles, and eventually it can lead to a betrayal. And this is what occurred in that instance. So let me know why you think Dris betrayed Summerhouse Gang. Let me know. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, hit the notification bell so you get a notification when I make a new video. If you appreciate my work and want to leave a donation, there's a link for that in the description. With that, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one.